Let's have a look at this tall drink of water right here. Have an 056 Super on the bench. Here, look at that. 42-inch bar. And there's actually some cool story behind this, so sit tight. This saw was purchased. It's a one-owner saw, still in the first owner's possession. He hasn't cranked this thing up in about 10 years, wants me to give it a once-over and get it running. He bought this brand new in 1988 in Monroe, North Carolina. I'm gonna hang it out there and say if this has the Bosch style ignition, it may not have spark. But let me show you something about this bar. This bar is original to it. It is 404 chain, full comp, no less. Sprocket nose, and this is what we would consider a wide nose, wide tip bar. These were some of the best bars ever made. And what's curious about this 42-inch bar, I've never seen one in this configuration. Now, any 42-inch bar in 404 I've ever seen has a large mount, which means the slot is much larger to accommodate for the 051, 075, 76, 090, the 084s of the world, 88s. They have a much bigger slot right here because the bar studs are much larger. This has the standard slot. I've never seen a 42-inch bar. This stats are on the other side, but you know, just take my word for it. She's a biggie on. So let me dig into this. I don't have my tripod with me. I'm at the tree company today, but let's do some diagnostics on this and see. I would imagine we're going to need some, you know, a fresh carb kit. I have parts for nothing, but I just want to get a parts list together. We're going to check for spark, and let's see. I don't think I'll need my Torx bits. Most of these are going to be flatheads and Allen heads. One of the dead giveaways that this is a Bosch ignition system is that the coil wire right there is gray in color. It's not an absolute, but that's period correct. So you'll see there's 3 flathead screws holding down this thin aluminum housing to engage, and then the coil's underneath here, not on the outside like it is traditionally. I did mention that he bought this saw new in 1988, and it was for, and if anybody can take a wild guess while I'm talking, is what was in 1988? It was Hurricane Hugo. Tore Charleston a new one. How about that? It still got spark. I would have bet not. That was the plug that was in there. Sorry about the train. You know, reunite this with a proper German spark plug. It's an oldie but a goodie I had left in the drawer over there. Why I saved those, I have no idea. Well, I threw a new fuel filter on it, and the fuel line in there actually looks good, and the tank's got a dribble of old fuel left in there, but it doesn't reek, so this may be newer fuel. I'm not quite sure. You know, old people like to put a little extra oil in their gas so their stalls will last. Now, I'm going to hang it out there that maybe some of the fuel has evaporated and has left a higher concentration of oil. But what that's done for storage, like I said, the fuel tank still looks fantastic. There's no, I mean, it's perfect. The fuel line's actually in great shape. All right, so we said this thing's a 056 Super. So back when this was made, if you had an 056, that was a standard 81 millimeter 81 cc saw. So it's a 52 millimeter bore, 38 millimeter stroke. So these are long stroke motors. And then if you got a Super, then that was a 54 millimeter piston, and you got 87 cc's out of that. And if you had a Magnum, then that was a 56 millimeter piston and 94 cc's. Pretty cool stuff. It actually meant something. I think Magnum's just a word now. If you look right in there you'll see a little bit of something, and that's the dual port muffler. So off the back side of the muffler, there's one more little outlet right there. Here's some old man crafty, simple design. So there's your throttle, and here's your choke. And these are just held on by some of the world's smallest E-clips. Pretty cool stuff, man. It's an old Tillotson, about as nice a carburetor as you'll find. Seriously small E-clip. Yeah, without a tripod here, you guys are just getting bits and pieces, and I'll take you along. But I'm gonna hang it out and say that gasket material is giving all it can. Here, let me pop these screws off of here. We'll take a look inside and see how she fared over the years. Well, kid, she looks like a shiny new penny. That's pretty nice. Obviously, I'm gonna hang it out there. There's no way in hell that is the original. This car's been rebuilt one time before. And again, look how, I'm gonna hang it out there and say that, yeah, there's, you know, maybe some of those gas has evaporated over the years, but it's not horrible. See, here's your pump, your impulse line right there, and that's still pretty. This thing might run. Let me put this back together. I'm just gonna tidy it up real quick and make sure nobody's been monkeying around with the carb settings. I'm not scared. I'll pull a cord on it. It's fired up on like the third pull. Yeah, I'm gonna touch his chain up. Well, I think I got the title for this video. It's two old giants right here. This is a live oak here in the upstate of South Carolina that had to be removed. If I'm not mistaken, I know size really doesn't give it any justice, but that crane pick for the trunk, I guess it was that, and maybe that section, I think was 9,600 pounds, 9,700 pounds. This is live oak's the most dense wood we have here on the East Coast that I know of, and by a long shot. What you think about that? I'll tell you what, that's one hell of a little saw right there. I've already run a handful of these, and I've got an 056 Magnum at the house, you know, and I think it gets a small air leak. I've had a couple of issues with it, so I've set it off to the side. It's got full wrap handle. It's not nearly in as good a condition as this one, but it's been passed around. But you know, it's hard to find anything one owner 1988 anymore. So thanks for sticking with me to the end. Y'all have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.